Hello there internet dwellers, my name is Baz and welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to a series that we've watched previously. It's called Dreams of an Insomniac by Pastra. The creator Zach Gignac reached out to me via email saying I would love for you to react to this newest video, and I remember really enjoying the previous videos. I'm going to do a quick summary of what the past 3 videos are about just to refresh your memory, or if you've never watched it before, I highly implore you to go watch the videos for yourself. The channel will be linked in the description down below. I've got some notes here that I'm just going to read that quickly go over what's happening so far. The first video is called Haunted Halloween PSA. This video starts off with a news report talking about a break-in at a local Halloween retail store called Grimzo's. The culprit stole only one thing, and that was a spooky inmate costume, which, I don't know, if you're going to break into a place, you usually go for the money, right? That just goes to show how unhinged this thing is, that it only stole a costume. On Halloween night, 6 young children disappeared within an hour. Police are searching for the culprit, who is described as wearing an orange striped costume with horns, a tail, and a black mask depicting bright yellow eyes and teeth. The news reports that the creature is on the loose and is capable of causing both visual and auditory hallucinations. People are advised to stay indoors, keep doors and windows locked, and not to trust anyone wearing a costume. Which sucks because everybody's wearing a costume on Halloween night, so this report's basically saying don't go outside, don't go trick-or-treating. So this entity basically stole Halloween. A police officer called Kenneth Kruger was investigating these disappearances, and he actually made physical contact with the entity. And this is a list of symptoms that happen if you make physical contact with the entity: discoloration of the skin, weight loss, tightening of the skin, fusing of flesh and bones, teeth growing where they shouldn't, and bleeding from every orifice. So basically this entity induces what every normal man goes through when they have a little cold. This moves us on to video 2, which is called In Loving Memory. Now the video is about Officer Kruger, who unfortunately took his own life. I'm not sure if the police training tapes were released to the public, because the report in this video just basically goes on to say how Kenneth Kruger was devastated by the disappearance of people last year. He was close to the families, his mental health suffered because of this case, and he basically unalived himself. I believe that if these symptoms were made public, then the report would have definitely mentioned this, but I'm thinking that they're keeping it hush just so they don't cause panic. And then we go on to video 3, which is the last so far in the series until this one, obviously, and it's a video about police dispatch getting a report on January 7th, 1987 from a distressed man stating that someone was trying to break into his home. When dispatchers arrive, everyone in the house was missing, and the family photo albums were horrifically distorted. Neighbors don't recognize any of the photos, and some state that no one even lived in that house. We then see found footage of a man who is being stalked and mentally tortured by this unknown entity. We can hear a disembodied voice that follows him all the way back home. He then sets the camera up when he gets back, and obviously this entity follows him back home. And we know that this entity is using the face of someone very important to this man, because he says, "Why do you keep using his face?" Which also suggests that this entity has been stalking him for quite a while now. The video eventually ends when the man walks off camera towards the entity, because the entity says something like, "If you come with me, you will never be alone again." The video starts distorting, and then it cuts to dispatchers arriving at the scene of the crime. And that's what we have so far. And this brings us to the current video in the timeline called Dreams of an Insomniac Volume 1 Foundation Archive. The description reads as follows. After watching the collection of tapes, you knew what you had to do. Late that night, you left your home, hitching a ride with a taxi and making your way towards that place you saw in the tapes. You didn't know what to expect when you arrived there. For all you knew, it may not even be around anymore. Thoughts of what you might see there terrified you, but filled with a new purpose, you marched towards it regardless. Your driver dropped you off far from your destination, not wanting anything to do with where you told him you were going. And so you walked. For hours you walked along a pathway. Hours? My goodness, how far away did this man drop you? How scared was this man? For hours you walked along a pathway of dirt and gravel, passing through a part of the country that felt like a ghost town. It had been so long since you stepped foot here, yet everything felt so familiar. The moon loomed high overhead when you finally arrived at your destination, the Lankman's asylum. The place was now boarded up and abandoned, a husk of its former self. You stood in front of the entrance for what felt like an eternity. You knew what you had to do there, but you didn't have the strength to do it. Eventually, the dread became too much to bear, so you turned away and got ready to walk all the way back. But then you heard something, a bellowing, calling to you from deeper within the forest. You recognized the creature's call and moved beyond the asylum as you ventured into the forest to meet someone you never thought you'd see again. Interesting stuff. Wow. Without further ado, guys, let's jump into this. Warning, this video contains flashing lights, graphic depictions of violence, and loud noises / jump scares. Oh, you know it's going to be good when there's a warning at the start. Here we go.
My name is Alex Williams.
Hello,
I live
Alex.
on 66 Elk Crescent, Eastridge County, and up until this point, I've worked for the Lankman Foundation, a job which I have quickly come to regret. This is my story.
Okay. Foundation Archive. So how does this link into the story? Is it going to be like it's some kind of madman from an asylum that died that is then haunting
I began my work for the
Okay.
foundation pretty much the day it was founded. After what happened on Halloween, I was put under 24/7 witness protection. They told me that the information I had was too valuable.
Oh.
It felt like I was under constant house arrest. There wasn't a day that they weren't watching me, and it went on like that for
Wait, why are they watching him though? Because he worked for the and they obviously know something more than letting on.
years. They gave me my job at the foundation as a form of protection. A bunch of guys in suits showed up to my house.
Oh no, hang on. This is the guy. Wasn't this the guy from the store? Like who says it's just a bunch of malarkey or whatever?
Oh, if you ask me, this whole story is just a bunch of malarkey. It all just happened so fast, you know?
And told me that it would be for the better if I took a job at their new facility. I didn't know much about them at the time. Nobody did, really.
He worked at Grimsey's,
All
right?
they told me was that they were helping Veldigan victims, but even that felt vague.
They were helping victims. Lankman Foundation. Yes, play that jazz. Swing it. Yes, that's what we do around here. Yes.
Hello.
Jesus.
You don't know me, but I certainly know you.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lankman.
Hello.
Or at least a cartoon version of the man himself, created by our lovely in-house animator, Mortimer Gray.
Why is there an in-house animator at a... Okay.
Who you may know for his work on the classic cartoon series Candy Mouse.
Candy
I
Mouse.
come to you all today to announce the founding of the Lankman Foundation,
Which
a
is?
new gateway into the future of Eastridge County. 4 years ago, our lovely town was plagued by a species of creature we have
Okay.
come to know
4 years
as
ago, so this is 1990 right now.
the Veldigan.
Wait, what?
These dangerous creatures have continued to threaten our residents, with there being seemingly no end to the dangers they pose. Until now, our lovely founder, Herbert Lankman, created
Oh my goodness. Look at this man's face.
our foundation for
That
the
picture does him
purpose of
no-
both
no
containing
favours.
this anomalous threat, as well as treating all those who have been affected by them. How does he plan to do this, you ask? Well, the answer is quite simple. Using the inheritance left behind by his father, Herbert Lankman got to work renovating and reopening the old Lankman's asylum, repurposing it into a massive treatment center for all those who have fallen victim to the Veldigan.
So the Valdigan being this creature, I thought it was called like the Smiling Snatcher. Or is that the official term for it, the Valdigan? Or is this something else entirely?
As well as this, he has been hard at work donating generous amounts to Eastridge County's police force, ensuring they can continue to do what they do best, protecting all of you. Here at the Lankman Foundation, we know these last couple of years have been scary, but don't worry. Soon enough, this will...
Wait, what the hell was that? Did you guys see that? I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it again because the title's in the way. Something up here.
Soon enough, this will all be a thing of the past. If you or anyone you may know have any questions regarding the Foundation and what we do, do not hesitate to give us a call.
Nice little transition there. So this is the person calling into the Foundation. On the night of April 6, 1990, this phone call was made to the Eastridge County Police Department. April 6th. This tape acts as the only archive of this call. All of the records are to be purged. Why?
Eastridge 911, where is your emergency?
This is 45 Elk Crescent. Send the police, please!
I just realised now that Alex and this woman live on the same street. And Alex lives at number 66. Just keep this in mind. Calm down.
Describe the situation to me, ma'am.
There's a group of men. Trying to break into my house. They're slamming on the door. Please send the police now!
The police will be on their way in a moment, ma'am. I just
Right.
want you to breathe. Did you get a good look at these men? What did they look like?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even if you do describe them, like, I guess it's recorded, so I guess you can go back and, yeah.
Like they're all wearing masks. I can't see their faces. They look all the same.
They all
What
look
kind
the
of
same.
masks, ma'am?
Yellow ones. They're wearing yellow masks. Do they look like bandages?
Oh, are these the, okay, Voldigum, what do you call them?
Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Can you stop? Will you stop? Get a gun. Get a bloody gun. Screaming at them isn't really going to help in this situation. I'm sorry. I know, they're probably panicking. Okay, nice bit of found footage. Oh my god. What?
After I started working at the Foundation, they immediately bombarded me and everyone else with all these different mandates and training tapes. Even for the most simple of jobs, there were rules for everything, and half the time they didn't even make sense. Perhaps the strangest mandate they had us commit to, though, was to wear these goggles at all times.
Oh.
They said it was
So were they from the Foundation for this woman?
a preventative measure to avoid the effects of some kind of hallucinatory environment.
Ah, interesting.
None of us knew what that was or how it was even possible. All they told us was that it would make you see and hear things, and that it was apparently used to keep patients in line.
Wow.
Something about treatment through
It's
exposure.
like Outlast when they drill those goggles into your head.
We never really knew for sure if it was working, but all the patients seemed to suffer from similar symptoms that were said to be a part of it. They were always scared of us, no matter how much we tried to help them. And they always complained about hearing some kind of horrible music somewhere in the facility. What got to me the most about it, though, was how
Horrible music.
normal everyone treated it. Something beyond our understanding was being used on these people, and nobody seemed bothered by it but me. They all just treated it like it wasn't even happening.
Okay, interesting.
Here in the Lankman asylum.
Well, we know that the Smiling Snatcher in itself causes visual and auditory hallucinations, so I guess...
It is imperative for all staff members to be aware of our state-of-the-art hallucinatory environment. Through this unique environment, we are able to keep all patients within our walls in line.
Okay, benefits of hallucinatory technology, accessible treatment through exposure, better control over unruly patients, improved methods of concealment. So they're exposing them to the hallucinations,
as well as treat their conditions through exposure that no other location can provide.
Wow.
The amount of benefits this new technology can provide for the patients of our asylum is numerous, but you must remember that there are multiple precautions which have been put in place to ensure that you,
Okay, so these are the
our
training
staff,
tapes.
do not suffer from the effects of our hallucinatory environment and can do your job correctly and safely. The first of these precautions should have been provided.
Whoa, what was that? Did you hear that?
Job correctly and safely. The first of these precautions should have been provided.
Oh, great. So now we're having auditory hallucinations. It's pretty clever, actually, that our exposure to this video is giving us the hallucinations.
Provided to you on
So
your
maybe we're going to start seeing things in the video that aren't actually there.
first day at the job, in the form of these specialized optical lenses. By wearing these red lenses, staff members will be able to see past the environment's effects, allowing for no mistakes to be made and a job well done.
Okay.
If at any
I thought hallucinations was like a brain thing, though. It wouldn't matter if you're wearing goggles or not. If something's inducing the brain, then again, I guess I don't know how it works. Symptoms of optical hallucinations: warping of the environment around you, entryways and exits appearing, disappearing, seeing people that do
are
not
to be
exist.
removed, staff members will experience severe hallucinations,
Stop with the whispering in my ear, okay? I will headbutt you.
which will make your work extremely difficult. The second of these precautions comes in the form of knowing what you should and should not be hearing when on the job. Although we have yet to develop a solution.
Symptoms of auditory hallucinations: the voices of people that do not exist, distant, discordant music, the voice of Dr. Lankman, the knocking of doors and windows. Get ready for the knock.
Auditory hallucinations, symptoms of them appear to follow a similar and predictable pattern. If you believe yourself to be hallucinating, ask yourself if you're hearing the voices of people that do not exist, distant music coming from an unknown location, Dr. Lankman requesting your aid, or the knocking of doors which do not exist. If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then you are hallucinating and should treat those sounds as if they do not exist. Moving on.
What if there is music playing in the background? What if there is those things happening, like knocking on doors and stuff? What if someone needs to get inside because something bad's happening? We're like, oh no, you're a hallucination, and they end up getting like
From our
mauled to
patented
death.
hallucinatory experiment, we next must discuss the role of another very important part of our facility. It is imperative that all staff members avoid
Do not interact with the caretakers, and those were the people that were breaking into that woman's house on April 6th.
any form of contact with
The caretakers were possibly the most
Okay, so we're getting a little bit of context now.
disturbing part about working in that entire facility. They were these tall, bandaged staff members who were dressed in black from top to bottom.
It's like, what's his name from Doom Patrol? I forgot
Tall,
what his name
bandaged
is.
staff members who were dressed in black from top to bottom. I don't even think I ever saw them outside of their uniform. We were always expressly told never to interact with them for any reason. Apparently their job was just that important.
Mm-hmm.
It was with them that I reached my breaking point when working at that damn place. I always saw
I don't know how this guy got out alive, because this seems like a very top secret place that, like, what, he's just allowed to walk out? Something bad is going to happen to this man at the end, I guarantee you.
them going into patients' rooms, taking them to places that I never got to see. I always wondered what they were doing, but I made sure to mind my own business. That is until late one night when I was working at the facility. They had just brought in a new patient, a woman who looked to be in about her 30s. She had no diagnosis, no sign of serious mental illness, and physically she was fine.
April 6th. Okay, this is the woman from April 6th.
None of us knew what she was doing there, but like we always did, we just ignored it and minded our own business. That night, though, she starts a ruckus. I think every person in the facility heard it when she started screaming.
Yeah.
I was the first one to arrive when I saw what was happening. 4 of those caretakers dragging her out by her arms and legs while she's just kicking and
Thrashing.
screaming.
Like a fish out
I
of
couldn't
water.
believe what I'd seen. I tried running in to stop them, but one of my coworkers stopped me, looked me in the eyes, and said, "It isn't worth it." I was in disbelief. These caretakers were treating Veldigan victims like caged animals, and
Oh, so she was a Valdigan victim.
here we were just standing there and watching. That was when
Or is that what they're being told, that they're Valdigan victims? I don't think this is a real thing. I think that they're saying, I know that Valdegums do exist, but I think this foundation were the ones that created this thing, and they're using people who were exposed to this thing to then further expose, like, so they're just taking random people and exposing them to this thing to maybe come up with a solution on how to counter it. I don't know. That's just a theory. That's just like, that might be completely out there. It sounds a bit
And I knew I
stupid
had to
saying
do
out loud.
something about it. I always had my suspicions about the asylum, but seeing how this treatment facility treated its patients, that was the final straw.
Yeah.
I went to as many of my coworkers as I could to try and get as much information as possible about the foundation and their shady practices.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring these problems to the light, to have the general public know what was really going on in there. But of course, none of them wanted anything to do with me.
No.
They just brushed me off and told me that it wasn't worth it, that it would bring more trouble. But I ignored them and I kept trying. When I ran out of staff to talk to, eventually I turned to patients. More specifically, the woman I saw getting attacked that night.
Okay.
I wanted to know where they took her, what they did to her. So
I bet she's already like freaking something. They've already like warped her mind or something.
I snuck into her room late that night with a camcorder that I brought, and I was able to record an entire interview I had with her, and I was just left with so many questions.
Yeah. Oh wait, so is this gonna be the interview?
Please don't hurt me. I promise I'll behave. I don't want to go back.
Listen, I don't want to hurt you,
This dude sounds like Matt Pat. Don't you guys think he sounds a little bit like Matt Pat if you close your eyes?
promise. I'm just here to ask a few questions is all.
A little
I'm
bit.
sorry about what happened to you the other night. It was horrible. I want to try and make sure that doesn't happen again. And it would help a lot if you could answer my questions.
Bro, you're speaking way too loud, man.
Okay.
Alright, thank you. Okay, so my first question. Why were you brought here? You didn't have any diagnosis, and you don't seem to suffer from any symptoms of Valdegans sickness.
Valdegans.
I don't know why I'm here. These men broke into my house. Nobody came to help me. The doctor told me I'm sick, but
Wow.
I don't know what he means.
That must be the worst, man. The very people who are meant to like kind of treat you are the ones telling you that you're sick, even though you're not. So it's like, it almost feels like you're never going to get out of there because they've got an ulterior motive. You're basically just their puppet. Not their puppet, but just their like test subject.
I'm sorry if that doesn't help.
It's okay, don't worry. That helps a lot. You're doing great. Now, my next question. That night when you were attacked here, I know it must be a lot, and I'm sorry to bring it up, but do you know where they took you?
I don't know. He told me I can't tell anybody. I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. He said he would take me back there.
Who?
I
The
don't want to
doctor?
go. I don't want to go.
Hey, it's all right. You're not going to go back there, I promise. I just need to know where it was. Nobody else will know.
They took me to room 66.
66.
What? No, that's not possible. There's only...
It's time to go. Okay, the moment she said... What the hell was that? I hear someone misbehaving. Ooh, that was a good pause from me. Oh my god. So the moment, this is what I was about to say, the moment she said the very thing, that started to happen, which means that there is some kind of observational chip inside her brain or something, or inside her, like, where they just know when this patient talks about it.
It's him!
Just try
He's going to take me back now! Please help me take him back!
Nothing bad is going to happen. It's easy for this man to say. Jeez.
Don't let him take me back! Don't let him take me back!
Wait for a moment, don't...
Uh-oh.
Just what do you think you're doing?
God, that voice. Jeez.
Everything that happened was...
All right, how are you still alive, my guy? How is this man still alive? There's no way he would still be alive.
just a blur after that. Those caretakers came into the room and dragged her out before I could even do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last time I ever saw her. And then they just sent me back to work as if the whole...
Yeah, I doubt that. I don't know about that. So you're trying to expose them of their secrets and they're just going to send you back to work?
The whole thing never even happened. That in itself was odd, but it was what she said to me that stuck out to me the most. She told me that she was taken to a room 66, which didn't make any sense. The asylum was small. It was only built with 65 rooms in mind, so a 66th room shouldn't be possible. At first I thought maybe she was misremembering things, or she was just misspeaking. I mean, she was clearly stressed out, and the way she was taken there was violent, but that just didn't explain things for me. I still didn't know where the patients were being taken, and what if she was telling the truth? I tried to look for answers to that question for a while, and nothing came of it. Nothing until I started to watch through our old conversations. During one of my watch-throughs, I saw something off the corner of my eye. Something I had never seen until it was staring me right in the face. A camera. A camera located right in the corner of that room. The asylum...
Oh, okay, that's how they was... How would you not... I mean, listen, you're doing, like I said, you're doing some top secret kind of experiment stuff, obviously, on these people. Why would they not observe the patients?
Have cameras, at least not in the rooms of its patients. If I had known they were watching me the entire time, I never would have staged that interview, and somehow I didn't see it. Something wasn't adding up. I went back to the asylum after that and checked the rooms of several patients. No cameras.
Okay, so it's just this woman for some reason.
I thought that I was losing my mind. I thought for a moment that maybe I was just seeing things. But then I realized something. Maybe I was. Late one night when no one else was around.
Like maybe you was what?
Maybe I realized something. Just seeing things.
Maybe you were just seeing things.
Maybe I was. Late one night when no one else was around, I tested something. Something I was afraid to. I removed those goggles they gave us. And when I opened my eyes, everything looked the exact fucking same. Everything started to make sense after that. Who knows what they could have been hiding that we just couldn't see? Cameras, people.
Okay, so the goggles hid the cameras.
Rooms. Suddenly, room 66 was terrifyingly possible, and
Oh, interesting. So they had to wear these goggles all the time whilst being in the asylum, because this supposedly broke the hallucinatory effects, but they were actually causing hallucinatory effects. Maybe these certain doors or rooms or cameras were made of a certain material that couldn't be detected by the goggles.
Was going to find it. I returned to the asylum later that night with a camcorder in hand. I figured that if it could show me where the cameras were in the corners of the patients' rooms, then it could help me find what I was looking for. I walked up and down the halls of that entire asylum, trying to find anything out of place.
Why is it still red?
I found it. I stood in front of that
now he's red all of a sudden.
Door for what felt like an eternity. A part of me wanted to know what was in there so badly, but another part of me just didn't want to see it. I was terrified, but I felt like I didn't have a choice. It didn't even feel like I was in control of my own body as I pushed that door open.
Oh dear. Okay, so this is 66. Room 66. What's in there? Oh dear. Oh god. What is it? What is that? Okay. Get out of there. It's time to go. I'm going to ask this once more. How is this man still alive? He literally just unveiled Satan. And he's still living? I'm telling you guys, something bad is going to happen to this man.
Looks like someone wandered somewhere they aren't supposed to be.
Is this a helper here? Or, oh, a caretaker?
In that moment, cornered and alone, I finally understood what they were so afraid of. I was finally seeing what they were seeing. For the first time.
So wait, hang on.
For the first time, I saw his face.
Who? Is that the freaking Benadryl guy? Oh my god! Is that what it's called? The Benadryl challenge? Is that really messed up? I don't know. The coronal suture, okay, intersects the middle 13 centimeters behind the scalp is infiltrated with, okay, Novocaine, note the rubber and adhesive to keep blood out. Okay. Operative technique. Okay, the coronal suture and mid are indicated on the scalp. Is this talking? Okay. So they're doing some kind of procedure here to the brain. Right. And I'm guessing are these the caretakers or is this the freaking doctor guy? This is making me a little...
After that, I didn't know
How? I'm gonna add one more time, just one more time. How is this man still alive?
what to do. I panicked. I couldn't move. And he just stood there for a moment, staring at me. But then he let me go. He just told me to go back to work and...
Okay, yeah, something's not adding up here,
act
mate.
like it didn't happen. Work continued after that. I was too scared to find out what would happen if I didn't come back to the asylum, so I just continued my work there as normal. I was never punished. Nobody ever found out. It was like the whole thing never happened. Until...
Is that not a little bit concerning to
Until
you?
recently. The reason I'm recording this tape tonight is because I fear soon you may never hear from me again.
Yep, I
For
thought
a
so.
while, Lankman acted like that night never happened, but
Blankman, did he say?
hear from me again. For a while, Lankman acted like that night never happened, but
And what was the facility called again? Lankman, sorry, not Blankman.
ever since the recent incident, things
Oh, okay. The whole thing makes more sense now. Lankman is based off of this. Like they said, it was a cartoon creation of this thing here. So this is Lankman. Jesus, Lankman, what have you been doing? What diet are you on, mate?
he and the caretakers have become more aggressive. I've started
He's
seeing
eating radioactive waste.
things. Cars passing me by with tinted windows. People following me off the corner of my eye. Staff treating me like I don't
All right. Is this a doorway behind him? Something is going to be behind him here,
even
and the eyes are
exist.
going to glow right at the
Recently,
end.
It feels like they don't want me talking anymore. Someone I know and care about has been hurt, and they've given me a job that doesn't even fit my credentials. They've made me
Oh yeah, that confused me. Why did they give this man? This man was the one. Was he the one who worked at Grimsey's?
search somebody very dangerous, and I have my suspicions that once I've told them everything they need to know, they won't need me anymore. That's why I'm recording this tape. I've learned things about this person, things that Lankman doesn't even know, things that could help me. After I'm done recording this tape, I'm going to be meeting with that person, and depending on how that goes, you may never hear from me again.
Okay, what person are you referring to here? Am I being slow?
If you're watching this, I've left you something. Something important. The last thing my friend was able to provide me with before they got to him. An archive. An archive of all the Foundation's most important tapes. It contains everything. Every lie they've told, every secret they've kept, every recording I've made. If I don't come back from this, you need to spread that information.
Okay,
The
sure.
People need to know. I don't want to go about this alone, but As things are, I've had no choice. It just feels good to finally get this off my chest.
You're so dead, mate. You're actually dead. I knew it. I knew this. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like. What was that sound, by the way? That's a disgusting sound. Mate, please. You know what would have been scary in that instance right there is when it cut to black, you just see like red glowing eyes just staring at you. Okay, well. Okay. Yes, like that. That was really, really good. You know, like I always think to myself, like, you look at an analog horror and you think, oh my god, how did anyone think about that? Like, it can't get better than this. Like, or you know, you think there can't be another analog horror that grips you with the storyline and like is creative and unique. But they just keep proving me wrong. I'll just let this play through, guys. Congratulations to everyone involved. That was really good. Wow, costume design, eh? So is this Zach here? Is this Zach, the person acting, or is that hang on a sec? No. It says here, didn't it? Oh, it was. Alex Williams was Zach. Okay, interesting. That was very good. You know, Zach, you sound a lot like Matt Pat, but just like it with your own little kind of, I don't know, accent. Wow. Original soundtrack by Lyra Horrors. Lyra is also a very good creator. If that's the one that I'm thinking of. Special thanks to my community. The continued support has allowed my dreams to become a reality. Here's the thing, guys. So Zach not only does this, but obviously does other like video essay kind of content, but they're also like very creative artists, so they do it in such a unique way. Clap it up, guys. This soundtrack is very loud in my ears. Bro, what in the hell? So there's a whole story to this. Okay, so from what I gather here, well, I'm trying to think of how this whole thing ties in. The attacks happened 4 years prior to this, right? The Smiling Snatcher, as it's called, and haunts this town and like makes 6 people go missing. And then this guy Lankman opens up the asylum to what I feel like that thing in there is something to do with what was happening in the town, right? Unless they captured the thing from 4 years ago and is experimenting on it and is using people to. But that can't be the thing. I don't know. I'm confused if like there's a hierarchy of these things, and the thing that went around like making 6 people go missing is just like a variant of this kind of thing. Because it definitely wasn't that big ass Lucifer Satan looking thing. But that Lankman in himself looks like a freaking psychopath. That's not human. So there's obviously more to the story there. Like why does he look like that? Why is he doing this? Where did this original thing come from? And were they behind it? Because they said they reopened the asylum, right? So does that mean like his dad or whatever was working on these things? Or was it just a normal mental asylum and it was reopened for the purposes of experimenting with this new, what was it called again? Valdigans? Winfrey and Lankman's reveal. Was Winfrey ever mentioned in the series? Am I being stupid here? Was Winfrey ever mentioned in this, or is this like a character that Pastra has created maybe before, or maybe is mentioned before? Maybe I don't know. It annoys me because I feel like, did I miss like an important part of that, or was this mentioned before, or do you have to kind of be in the know to know? I mean, Zach did a fantastic job here as Alex. The models were amazing. The sound design was amazing. The soundtrack was amazing. I feel like the tension building was amazing. The storytelling was good. There is a lot of lore here that obviously I'm unaware of that needs exploring. Maybe it will be explored more in further tapes. But I really enjoyed this, and this needs a lot of attention because this was very creative and I really enjoyed watching it. So Zach, Pastra, keep up the amazing work. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to go subscribe to Pastra down below. The link will be down below with the playlist so you guys can check it out for yourself. And let me know if I did miss a Winfrey, because I am a little bit dense at the best of times. So let me know what that is, because I don't remember that ever being mentioned. But yeah, if you guys also enjoyed my reaction, why not leave a like, rate, and subscribe? This is the majority of my content, reacting to analog horrors, playing some scary games, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.